And in business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria has alerted Nigerians of the activities of fraudsters purporting to be in the receipt of award letters of contracts related to construction works. The bank's acting director, Corporate Communications Department at the CBN, Mrs. Akama Sidi Ali, in a statement said the fraudsters usually lay claims to possession of special financial interventions on behalf of the CBN. She said such individuals always aimed to defraud unsuspecting Nigerians. The director said the CBN remains committed to its core mandate of ensuring monetary and price stability and efficient financial system. Meanwhile, the Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, says President Bola Tinubu is charting a way to move a lot of Nigerians out of poverty. The minister said this in Bauchi State during the opening of the National Council of Finance and Economic Development Conference. He said the president is leaving no stone unturned in order to ensure that life is made better for Nigerians by coming up with policies and programs that would be beneficial to all. The minister noted that our government's drive to enhance investments by domestic and foreign investors. The theme of the conference is fostering economic growth in challenging times, strategic policies for partnership and fiscal sustainability and national development. And as part of efforts aimed at reducing poverty and providing succor to most vulnerable ones, a non-governmental organization has embarked on distribution of food items as palliative measures for residents in Lagos Island area of the state. The Lagos State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okpe George, who was at the handing over food items to beneficiaries at the Lafiaji Community Center, said the initiative is to support people and the means of giving back to the community. Also speaking during the distribution, President of the association, Mr. Adekunle Gonzalo, urged Nigerians to be patient with the government, explaining that the ongoing reforms instituted by the federal government will yield positive results in short to medium term.
It's also ensuring that we can empower people to be able to sort of fend for themselves. So, skill acquisition is important, trying to train them and ensure that, as they develop, they can fend for themselves. So whilst these food banks are important, also being able to sort of pass on skills to them where they can sort of fend for themselves as they go along is also something I think is very important. So we'll be able to do more for the good people of Lafiaji.
The message is that people should mellow down. Things is going to be better. There's nothing one can do. It is God that does everything. So this will change.
Away from that, Asian stocks rose today while U.S. bond yields and the dollar hung back for a multi-month high as traders awaited President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet selection and sought to gauge the outlook for Federal Reserve's easing. Japan's Nikkei added 0.5%. Australia's equities benchmark jumped 0.8%, reached a record high. Taiwanese shares advanced 1.3%. Chinese markets were weak, though, with investors mulling potential Trump tariffs and waiting on more details of the stimulus from Beijing. Hong Kong Hang Seng slipped 0.1%, reversing earlier gains, and mainland blue chip dropped 1.2%. U.S. S&P 500 futures pointed to 0.1% higher, following a 0.4% advance overnight for the cash index. Pan-European 50 futures rose 0.3%. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares snapped a 4-day losing streak on Monday with a 0.35% climb, and we're up 0.1% in the latest session. The International Monetary Fund is warning that tit-for-tat tariffs could undermine Asia's economic prospects, raise costs, and disrupt supply chains, even as it expects the region to remain a key engine of growth for the global economy. IMF's Asian Pacific Director, Kashin Shamvarani, said this at the forum in Kabul on systemic risk. The director said the tit-for-tat retaliatory tariff threatens to disrupt growth prospects across the region, leading to longer and less efficient supply chains. Shamvarani's remarks comes amid concerns over U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's plans to impose a 60% tariff on Chinese goods and at least a 10% levy on all other imports. In October, the European Union decided to increase tariffs on Chinese-built electric vehicles by as much as 45.3%, prompting retaliation from Beijing. According to federally filings and union officials, American plane maker Boeing will lay off more than 2,500 workers in the United States, Washington, Oregon, South Carolina, Missouri, as part of its debt-heavy U.S. company plans to cut its global workforce. Nearly 2,200 layoffs notices went to workers in Washington and another 220 in South Carolina, the two states where Boeing builds commercial airliners. Boeing has declined to comment on the new layoff plans, but the aerospace giant expects the workers to stay on Boeing's payroll until January 17th to comply with federal requirements to notify employees at least 60 days prior to ending their employment. Well, crude oil prices edged up today, extending the previous day's rally, driven by a halt in production at Norway's Johan Sverdrup oil field, though investors remain cautious amid fears of an escalation in the Russia and Ukraine war. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell to $68.98 per barrel with a downward review of 0.26%. Brent also experienced a margin downward of 0.19%, selling at $73.16 per barrel. Bonnie Light is down 2.84% and is selling for $78.62 per barrel. Well, crude oil dealers for OPEC basket are offering $71.23 with a downward review of 0.61%.